Alright, it's turn 52. I'm not going to go over all the details of the Ghost War because it continues. Raid and counter-raid continue up here. I have sit Pidocion on top of Marverni, and I'm now moving my troops up to join him in an effort to siege that fort down, which I kind of expect to take a while. However, once I do it, Pidocion will go in. Probably I'll just send him in alone, and he'll clear the place out. In other news, Therados has launched two actually fairly major attacks. One here in Illidar, and one here on Arcosa. That's the army that I saw last turn. So he attacked Arcosa, and my defenders were unfortunately overwhelmed. My warrior chiefs got surrounded, and they just got hacked down. Their defenses couldn't quite keep up. I did not anticipate him having quite this many mages. Didn't realize he deployed an Iron Adept and 7 Cabaros. It's interesting because, like, the Iron Throne isn't here, so he must have gotten that Iron Adept from an event or something. In any case, so he is besieging me with an army of fairly significant size. About 100, it's 160 units at this point. Now, I can take him because I have a trick up my sleeve, and that trick is called... Yeah, I'm researching evocation. I've changed my research to research evocation level 6, because the trick in question is called Magma Eruption. Wide area of effect, lots of magical bludgeoning damage, hits floating units, they have no protection, so it will wipe out large swaths of Therodian units at once. I have 2 guys in here who are Earth 2, Fire 1, with jars of fire, or fire in a jar. I have 2 more moving to join us. I also have about 120 skeletons coming down to join us. It's a little less than 120, but in any case, I have a whole bunch of skeletons. I'm moving my patrollers out of the Weald, and I'm also bringing Agrowolf, the diseased, weakened, limping, and ever wounded antlered shaman from yesteryear. So he's coming down with his troops. We're converging on Arcosa, and we should be able to handle it, I think. Now, that 5% Reaper effect is moving. It was here in Siren Forest, now it's down in Troya, and I think he's either going for the capital or he's going for the Cradle of Life. So what I need to do is, here in the capital, we need to patrol with some people. Specifically, we're actually, I think, going to... Here's the thing, I want everybody to be researching, but I need to patrol. There was a battle in Ripewoods. You may notice something weird there. There was a battle in Ripewoods. I was attacked by Independents, and specifically, I was attacked by a troll shaman leading a huge bunch of spiders. And giant spiders and great spiders are not very threatening. And, of course, I had my guys set up to cast Hellbind Heart, remember? So, I hellbound the hearts of, like, a whole bunch of spiders. I ended up with a bunch of spiders, you guys. It's kind of hilarious. I just have all these spiders now. So, what was it? Yeah, I ended up with, I captured 6 great spiders and 2 great spider commanders. So now I have these commanders who are just spiders. Just for Feaster and Revelry, they're just spiders. There's no explanation for this. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm going to move them down into the capital. And what we're going to do is 5% Reaper effect. I've confirmed that it's 5%. That's a very specific value, and I've been looking through the inspector. There might be something I missed, but the only one I can find that has specifically a 5% Reaper value is Telkeen's. As in the Conjuration 8 summon that Therados has access to that are very powerful mages. Now, Telkeen's are not normally stealthy, but maybe he, like, I don't know, maybe he put a stealth item on a Telkeen. I don't fully understand what's happening, but no matter what, I am setting up to defend my fortresses. So, we're getting some defensive measures. Of course, they have no command, because those guys are magical, so we're gonna give, yep, like that, and like that, and like that. So all 4 of them are patrolling, and they are just going to cast Swarm twice. That's their whole... they're actually going to have to cast resist poison first. Yeah, so it's going to be resist poison and then swarm twice. In case that is a Telkeen that we can hunt out. If it is a Telkeen, then that means that he is wearing, whatchamacallit. He's wearing Shade Mail. And Shade Mail is only like 20 stealth. So 10, 15, 20, 40, 45 patrollers should be able to hunt him out if it is a Telkeen. It would be, I mean, I'll be honest, it would be freaking weird if he had sent a Telkeen to try and BBC me. But that seems to be what he's doing. I mean, it kind of seems to be, and it may even have Shade bodyguards or something. But in any case, we'll cast Swarm 8 times, and 8 swarms plus the patrolling units should be able to put paid to that. Over here, we are under siege, and the walls have actually been cracked. We are breaking the siege with everyone. You need to break the siege too. And the reason we're doing that is we're jumping in our vampires. We've got 2 vampires. I've equipped them all with a bunch of both with a bunch of blood slaves. They are going to jump in and spam Leech, and Leech will basically kill a square of ghosts when it hits, or it will deal a whole bunch of damage to the Hounds of Twilight. It will not affect the Claymen, and in fact the Claymen will not be targeted because they are inanimate. This is a pretty solid army. I don't actually expect to win here, but if my vampires die, they will simply respawn at Ulm, which is so I won't have lost anything. And in doing this, I'll be able to cast Swarm a bunch. Rend will be able to get out there and fight. I should at least be able to give a good account of myself. And if I can't, and she's spamming Dust to Dust, although a better spell might be, well, not Frighten. If I had Terror, Terror might be a better spell, but I don't have that. So yeah, she'll just spam Dust to Dust. She'll Eagle Eyes herself first to make it more precise, because Dust to Dust can miss. And then Dust to Dust will also kill a square of the enemy per turn. So, that there is the plan, such as it is. He's got a whole bunch of Spectral Archers, which means he's going to be firing Spectral Arrows at me, which is a little bit unfortunate. I could slap armor on each of these guys, but like, it's likely to be lost. It's very likely that we'll lose any armor that I send. So instead, I think I'm just going to put Iada back here with some to eat attack rear orders. Rend wants to charge into the middle of the largest group of the enemy possible. I don't really need to resist poison, actually. So why don't you just cast Wooden Warriors, and then Swarm. And actually, let's go Wooden Warriors, Swarm, and then Wooden Warriors. It doesn't matter. Hitting the Swarm with Wooden Warriors doesn't matter. Just Wooden Warriors, Swarm, and then cast spells. That's fine. So we'll throw Wooden Warriors onto the Fiery Imps, which will make their Nat Prot 10, so they'll be a little bit more resilient and will affect people with their Fire Shield more. And we should at least be able to cause some disproportionate damage. And like I said, my vampires will die, and then they will immediately teleport back to the capital, and it will all be fine. So that is going to be the plan. And if this guy hits this fort, he should be patrolled out pretty much immediately, I think. If he hits my capital, he will get 2 turns of effect, which will lower my income somewhat. However, I'm getting really close to being able to cast Riches from Beneath, which will be fine. And more importantly, Theranos is getting the crap kicked out of them underwater. So, especially if I can take Marverni and defeat this siege, which is definitely a toss-up. I don't know that I'm going to defeat that siege. I think I have excellent odds of defeating the siege of Arcosa with my magma eruptions, but we'll see how that goes as well. In any case, at some point here, I'll be willing to negotiate peace with Theranos, because it will be time to look at winning the game. So you need 10 Ascension points to win the game. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 thrones almost within my borders. That's 8 points, because all thrones in this game are level 2. Then that's a 5th throne. that's not too far a reach. I have to get through these troglodytes, and that's about it. So, the issue will be one of getting Holy 3 casters. For that, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to hit Construction 8 and Conjuration 7 so that I can summon Mound Fiends, who are Holy 2, and then give them the Holy Boosters, the Holy Boosting items at Construction level 8, in order to let them be Holy level 3. Because Ulm has no recruitable Holy level 3s. In fact, we don't get above recruitable Holy level 1. So it's either Mound Fiends or going underwater in order to summon Bishop Fish, and then giving them amulets that will let them breathe above ground. Which would be perfectly fine. Like, I could probably do that, given a little bit of effort. Where's Bishop Fish? That's Conjuration level 6, and it requires Water 3. Which, of course, I don't have. Irminsul can do it, because Irminsul is level 2. I could slap a booster on him that he could do it very easily. Or he could just forge the water boosters for other people. However, my water gem income is extremely limited. Much more limited than my death and earth gem incomes. So, I think I'm gonna do it the way I'm thinking about. But I am going to take this throne and this throne for sure fairly soon, or at least I want to. I need to free up resources in order to do that. And so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll hopefully, like I said, I'll be willing to make peace with Therados, because I don't care. I don't need Therados to die. I just need them to not win, and they're already in a not winning position. Like, with Atlantis fighting them, and me fighting them, they've already been, I think, hurt badly enough that they are not really in competition to win, especially because we've got these Basalt Kings up here, who they cannot effectively stop. This army is going to take Baratos back for Atlantis. Atlantis has taken this fort and seems to be holding it pretty solidly, and their god, the ancient Kraken, is now besieging this fort. I've taken this fort, so Therados has already lost that one. And both of these forts are under siege, although they will bounce. They'll bounce this one. They'll break free of the scout who's holding them down. But I am going to take Marverni. They don't have a way to stop that, really. And that'll be what it is. So, everybody's researching right now in order to get up to those precious 1,300 research points per turn in order to hit evocation level 6 immediately. And after that, we'll get the blood magic, we'll get the enchantment. I may actually skip enchantment level 7, because the only real reason to do that would be Earthblood Deep Well, and I'm not sure I'm going to need Earthblood Deep Well. I mean, it would be a great spell, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I'm already looking at the Rush. And for that, I need Conjuration, not enchantment. So I might just bomb down Conjuration to level 7 first, start get those Mound Fiends while I work on Construction 8, and then go from there. I'll decide, though. I am gonna get Blood Magic level 8, because I do want the Blood Vortex. And I want 3 red seconds. I really want 3 red seconds before I do this, because that will let me take a throne, immediately drop a fort on it. It has a 4-province range, so from my capital I can hit that with it, I can hit that with it, I can hit 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't quite hit that one, I'll have to move up here, and I can hit that one with it. So I'll be able to pop instant forts on these thrones in order to prevent them from being retaken, and then I can just pile troops into those forts. So that will be the plan. Given my current research level and the speed at which my research is increasing, I should be in a position to start working on that. So evocation level 6, blood magic level 8 will probably be in about 4 turns. And at that point, I should be looking to take my first throne pretty soon. Probably going to cast the Blood Vortex first in order to make sure I have the Blood Slave income to support dropping 3 red seconds every couple of turns. And of course, I already have multiple Blood 5 mages who can do so. So that'll be the strategy there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 53. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, turn 53. This one's going to be a little bit quick because apparently I didn't save my moves, and I went back and looked, and I had thought I'd recorded this turn, but I hadn't, so I guess I just played the turn and didn't save my moves and didn't even remember to record it. So that shows you how organized I am. In any case, lots more raiding and counter-raiding, fights here, here, and here. They have broken the gate of Arcosa. I'm moving in my magma eruption casters and my army of skeletons in an effort to stop that. We'll see how it goes. These guys need to be on hold and attack closest. These all need to be on hold and attack. Yeah, sure, hold and attack rear is fine. So I've got, you know, about 100 skeletons. I've got 4 magma eruption casters. I've got 1 buffer in the shape of Agrawolf. And we are fighting about 150 units. They've got a whole bunch of extra units mixed in along with the ghosts, and they've got a whole bunch of archers, which is a little bit scary, because they might shoot my mages to death. But we'll see. My mages have some protection, and they also have decent magic resistance, which means that they're very likely to be only taking half damage from arrows. So overall, they're likely to do all right. There was a battle in Illidar. We tried to break out of Illidar with the help of our vampires, and like I said, I didn't expect to win this fight. I just expected to make it a little bit painful. They'd actually brought in reinforcements, so this is even a larger army than I had anticipated. They have 4 Melias, whole bunch of ghosts, a couple of Kaibaros, and 3 Hounds of Hades, plus some Lamias and an Ivy King that they have summoned with the extra nature income from that Mother Oak they stole from me so unrighteously. And I have got Rend the Bane up front. I've got my Vampire Lords, I've got my Fiery Imps. And so the battle goes on. We basically just get swarmed. My Vampires do manage to kill quite a few with Leech. And the Sorceress back here, Kata the Black Witch, she gets a few kills, but routs off. And so my army gets routed off, and eventually what's left is Rend. My Vampires are killed, the army's routed off, and it's Rend the Bane standing in the middle of this army. And this fight goes on for a long time, because Rend is almost an army killer. He nearly does it. He fights for a good long while. Unfortunately, he's not quite up to snuff. He doesn't quite... They've got Howl going on, which is why all these wolves are piling up around him. And unfortunately, he gets unlucky eventually. I mean, it happens. Eventually, if fights go on long enough, luck turns bad. Why are they green? Why are you green? You're enlarged. You have a liquid body. Oh, moss body. Huh. Interesting. Okay. But so he goes on and he fights, but he's taking damage, he's giving damage back, he's regenerating, and mostly, on average, he's beating the damage with his regeneration. But eventually here, he takes a couple turns back-to-back of really hard hits, and so he does go down, just because with as few hit points as he has, only 38, he doesn't have the buffer that would be necessary to avoid taking to live through that kind of thing. He's not regenerating quite fast enough, and his defenses aren't quite robust enough. 26 prot really isn't enough to keep for going on with forever. And since he's surrounded by mainly not ghosts, the high magic resistance is not saving him, because the Spartoi, the Spartae that they've summoned, have a magical non-ghostly attack that is not magic resistible, and the Lamias are not magic resistible. And for that matter, the wolves are not magic resistible. So eventually he gets, see right there, he takes a really big whop of damage. And he takes another one right there, so they're whittling him down. And then he regenerates some, he seems like he's coming out of it. He's pulling away. Takes another big hit there that puts him back down below 20. And there he goes. One turn, he just got unlucky. Got a few really bad hits, and went down in one round. So you can see there he's hit with the life drain, he killed a guy, and then got 14 points of damage there, and then 6 points of damage there. So 20 points of damage in one round. And unfortunately, that is the end of Rend the Bane. But he did kill quite a few. So in Illidar there, I lost my army. I killed about 60 of their troops. Unfortunately, of course, their ghosts will just respawn. But I killed one of their Hounds of Twilight and a couple other things. It wasn't really worth it, but the Vampire Lords will just come right back. They'll take a little bit to regenerate because they were away from the capital and across a river. So I think they're going to take 1 or 2 extra turns. They're not coming back this turn. But they will come back. And Jordanes and Helmhart here. I'm going to give him a Bloodstone, and he is good. No, not a Bloodstone. I don't want a Bloodstone for him. I want a, this. So that Jordanes can summon Demon Knights. And Irminsul needs to summon me another... I could actually bind an Archdevil here, but instead I'm just going to summon another Vampire Lord. He has moved his... I think it's a Telkine. It has to be, because it came from the water, and it's 5% Reaper, which is Telkine quality. So I'm patrolling with some things here. Unfortunately, I'm also going to have to patrol with Erkenbald. And I'm going to need to give Erkenbald some nature gems, because I'm going to need to cast Resist Poison. Since Telkines, if this is a Telkine, which I think it is, it's going to have that... It's going to have the... I'm totally losing my mind. It's going to have the Foul Vapors effect. So cast Poison Ward, and then cast Swarm. Like as many times as you can. And you'll, yeah, just be right there in the middle. So we've got Agrowolf, who is unfortunately diseased, but he's a decent thug. We've got a whole bunch of garbage chaff. Excuse me. And a whole bunch of wolves. And, God, I think that even might not be enough. I don't think Move and Patrol will allow Snazzy to actually fight in a patrol battle, but I'm gonna try. I don't think it will. But hold and then attack large monsters. And you hold and attack large monsters. All these guys, unfortunately, he has to bring these chaff with him just to have a shot at successfully patrolling. And it's unfortunate because they're going to die. And as you can see, quite a number of them are already diseased. But he's got to, he's got to patrol with them, or there's no chance of finding the guy. These Hobergs are also moving in, and they are bringing with them some Claymen, which of course are immune to poison and regenerate and all that. And they can cast Swarm. So they're moving in. It's going to take them a couple turns to get there because they are short and slow. But hopefully, should be able to dig the Telkine out. Now, one thing about Telkines is they themselves are not disease resistant. So the only way this makes sense is if he's put a Shade Mail on a Telkine, which I would think I should be able to patrol out pretty easily. He did, however, manage to slip by the patrols here. And my Defense 25 hasn't found him, so I don't know. It might be he might have summoned a Black Servant, but Black Servants have 10% Bane Venom Charm effect, not 5%. If they're equipped with a Bane Venom Charm, it's 10%, not 5%. So the only amphibious things I was able to find that has a 5% Reaper effect was Telkines. I'm a little bit baffled and also irritated because it's very annoying that he's stealthy there. I'm throwing Infernal Diseases around because he's raided me there, so I'm killing the commander of that group. I'm killing the commander of this group. Let me see. So Infernal Disease at Faircliff, which is down there. Infernal Disease at Sarin Forest, and then actually you throw your Infernal Disease at Ulm, because I think that can hit stealthy commanders, and if it is a Telkine, a disease demon may well be able to do some real damage. Assuming it doesn't have gems or anything. I'm not sure what his plan is, but he's just hurting me, basically, which is, fine. That's to be expected. Especially because I'm definitely hurting him. I've taken these 2 provinces back. He's got some more ghosts running around there. I've actually besieged his fortress, hilariously enough, because his patrolling forces consisted of mainly ghosts, and he had no undead leadership on the field. So, when I honestly don't know how that happened, but I'll show you. In Centania, where is it? Yeah, so in Centania, they patrolled out my scout. And then, so if we look over here, he's got a big old pile of ghosts. And he's got this spectral commander way in the back. And I think he must have had the spectral commander set to retreat. Or something, because the spectral peltasts are moving backwards at this point. He just had these troops set to retreat. That's what happened. It wasn't even, it was just, he's just straight up had them set to retreat. And so they retreated off the field. And when they retreated, they took 75% of his HP with them. So everyone else routed. Yeah. The armies of Therados just routed because 75% of his HP just straight up retreated off the field. So, now my scout is besieging this fortress for no real reason. In Marverni, hilariously, we were attacked by Bogus, by Bogus's adventuring party, and they actually wiped out everyone except Pedosian. So Bogus's troops charged in. Unfortunately, I had an antlered shaman and 2 blood mages over here, and they just charged in. But now Pedosian is protection 30, he's regenerating at 25%, he's got 26 magic resist, and he is reinvigorating himself. So Pedosian just went in and punched him to death, because he's regenerating 33 hit points a round. So he's just freaking punching Bogus the Troll Raider to death. And there's nothing anyone can do about it, basically. And here comes the Troll Archer, and he's going to punch Fang the Troll Archer to death. And he's punching Ghost Wolves to death. And he's combat speed 3, so it's not like he's really going to make progress. But then the rest of the group routes off. Unfortunately, since no one else was left alive and Pedosian has full slots, he was not able to pick up any of the magical gear that they would have dropped. And, of course, I lost my Garnet Sorceress, my Antlered Shaman, all that bad stuff. But, it happened. We also defeated a few attacking forces. So here in Bithine, we did grab a Kyberos and kill him. In Siren Forest, of course, we lost. In Desert of Visions, we beat a Kyberos and a Spectral Commander who were actually carrying gear. I think this is gear they took off dead Warrior Smiths of mine. But they're like thugged out. Like, he's got a Flesh Eater, a Vine Shield, an Armor of Knights. He's got a Flesh Eater and an Armor of Knights, so we killed him. They lost. And if we go to the province, we see that my Mound Kings are now both equipped with some gear, which is kind of cool. I may actually give one of those Armors of Knights to Agrawolf just to keep him alive. Yeah, give that to Agrawolf. Just help the man be, help him be protected. Great. So yeah, we're going to fight here. We're going to assassinate that commander with a Disease Demon. We're going to assassinate this commander with a Disease Demon, and then send... Who is it that's going? We're sending somebody to bounce that army. We're sending Rekitak to bounce that army, which will work unless he's put province defense there. Let's actually send Revelry with a couple of troops, shall we? Revelry the Spider. Can I gear this spider? That's hilarious. You can give it miscellaneous items. It has magic resistance 4, so it's garbage, but that's hilarious. In any case, that's basically the turn. Still blood hunting. Not sure what this army is going to do. Probably invade me, so I am going to need to move troops to stop that from being a thing. But overall, I think I'm in a pretty good place. Like all these ladies. Buying me up some fire imps because they do pretty well. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll get me 45 fire imps. 46 actually, since she's level 2. And that will be a little bit of a help to me. In terms of research, I'm going to hit Blood Magic level 8 for that Blood Vortex, and then Enchantment level 7. And I am casting Riches from Beneath this turn to kick my income up, and my resources and all that. And it should be a good time. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in turn 54. Alright, turn 54. The Ghost Wars continue, skirmishing back and forth. If we look at my messages, I killed a Spectral Commander in... Dang it, why will it not tell me where... I killed two commanders. I killed a scout, and I killed a commander. So I killed a scout there, I killed a commander down here. I cast Infernal Disease at Ulm, but it was unable to find an enemy commander there, which makes me think it can't find really stealthy guys. Which is, I mean, okay, fair enough, I guess. Poor Feaster the Spider has been diseased. So rude. In fact, 3 of my commanders have been diseased. Fortunately, one of them was a spider that I don't care about. But Ajavulf has been diseased, which is really a bummer. And Glaumund the Warrior Smith has been diseased, which I hate. So there's that. I'm actually going to cancel these guys. Because I want to start recruiting another Warrior Smith. And I'm already recruiting a Black Witch there. I'm not recruiting anybody down here. Gosh, why not? Stop that. Recruit Warrior Smiths. Actually, recruit them. Let's get this Warrior Smith up there where you can pick up some gear. I'm recruiting there. I should be recruiting a mage over here as well. Yes, and in Hinnom, I am recruiting Warrior Smiths too. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, I've got Leper Love over here with his little gang of hoodlums. He is going to swing down south to pick up all these troops that are stranded. I was actually recruiting a commander, but we will cancel that. This army should be leaderless, so we're moving in some warrior priests, some warrior smiths, rather, with a few units to clean them up. Arcosa was fascinating. So we had, first of all, we tried to break the siege in Arcosa, and let's see how that went. So we had our big pile of skeletons up front, we had our mages in the back, everybody's summoning earth power. These are actually mercenary groups, is what these are. So the Sappers are a mercenary group, and the Ictiids are a mercenary group. Ferris, I believe, is the guy with the Sappers, and then the Ictiids have an Ictiid commander somewhere around here. But yeah, these are all mercenaries that he's summoned. That he has hired, rather, to come after me. Actually, I think Ferris had the mechanical men and the Sappers, maybe? I'm not sure. But in any case, there's 2 mercenary groups there. So he's shooting some arrows at me. Firing some magma bolts into the skeletons, that's fine. My guys are all Phoenix powering up. Tossing out a Blade Wind, we've got some more arrows and magma bolts coming in. Then the magma starts going off, and it wipes out a couple groups of ghosts, which is really, really good. They are continuing to erupt magma, however, Hrabin is now bleeding profusely, which is really, really sad. We get a few more good magma hits, clean up a few more of the Ictiids. The skeletons go in. These undead start fighting there. Wormfood actually charges in, and the enemy infantry actually routs. However, at that point, I think army losses kick in, or something. But my troops then spontaneously rout as well. So even though all the even though all the enemy infantry is routing off the field, my troops also rout off the field, and of course my skeletons disintegrate. However, my mages, who are fatigued out, stay on the field long enough for all the Ictiids to go away. So, pretty much all that's left is the Sappers. And a couple of commanders. He's actually made his Sappers ethereal. Ferris has. But so it's the Sappers, 1 Cabaros, and then pretty much all the infantry is gone. Which then leads to the attack on the fortress of Arcosa, which he had scripted, where Ferris, his Spectral Commander, and his Cabaros attack Arcosa by themselves. Just absolutely by themselves. Nothing here. No support. They brought none of their troops because their commanders leading their troops were killed. And so my archers kill off the mages here. It takes a little while, but they kill off the mages. The Spectral Commander attacks. And I'm not sure if he dies as well. I think he does. Because he hasn't technically, he hasn't HP routed yet. There he starts to HP route. Do we get him? Do we get him before he gets off the field? Oh, it looks like not. It looks like he gets away with 1 health. But, he retreats. And so, Arcosa is now only under siege by 5 spectral hoplites. approximately. So we're breaking the siege with our mages, with Hollow, and with Worm Food. We've given them a little bit of gear, and so they are just going to be on attack rear to charge around and kill whatever commanders may still be here. Atlantis is making more progress against Therados. They've still got Baratos under siege. They've cleared up this line, which means that Therados is going to have trouble attacking me. They can still move these troops up to attack me, and of course they do have this army because they did take Illidan. So there's a significant ghost army down here that is going to be a problem. However, Niflheim and I are clubbing together to cast Seas of Ice. We won't be able to do it this turn, but sometime in the next couple of turns, Niflheim is going to drop Seas of Ice, which will lock Therados down, because Therados does not have much by way of astral magic. And also, Therados itself is currently being besieged by a Basalt King. So Atlantis, basically what we're going to do is we're going to trap the vast majority of both Atlantis and Therados' units underwater, where they can't do anything. And that will help me immensely, because as soon as that happens, I'll be able to clean up the forces that I'm still fighting up on land, basically try to trap Therados in his little hole over here, and then go to work winning the game. So that is the plan from my perspective. I'm binding another Demon Knight and summoning another Vampire Lord. I'm up to 4. This little Therados army is threatening to come in on me, so what I need for Vampire Lords to be effective against them is Thaumaturgy 6, because that unlocks Wither Bones, and Vampire Lords can spam Wither Bones and wipe out huge armies of the undead. So yeah, actually I think I should probably do that. Let's go Thaumaturgy 6, then we'll get our Blood Magic level 8 and our Enchantment level 7. Thaumaturgy level 6 should only take me a couple of turns, because it's 100, 200, 400, I think, 700. In any case, I should basically kick my way up to level 4, almost to level 5, or maybe all the way to level 5 in one turn. And then it's 1300 points after that to get level 6, which I should be able to reach next turn. That 5% Reaper effect is still moving. I didn't manage to catch it, although I did kill a scout in Ulm. So it's here now. I'm not sure where it's going. Possibly it's going to Hinnom. Possibly it's going to the Weald. I don't really know exactly, and it worries me. So what I'm doing is I'm patrolling the Weald basically as heavily as I can with the undead. I've got 50, I'm summoning more. I'm going to pile up 80 dudes on Misamalok, the Mound King. And this Mound King will take Leperlove, will take his skeletons, and will also come back to help. So if that Reaper, which has to be a Telkeen, if that thing, I'm not going to call it a Telkeen because I guess I don't technically know. I pretty much know. 5% Reaper is very rare. If that Telkeen moves through the Weald, I should have at least decent odds of catching it. This army does concern me because it's fairly significant, and it has a Hound of Twilight, has an Ivy King, a couple of other mages, but I have cast Riches from Beneath, so my income has spiked up a little bit. And my resources are now absolutely not a limiter. Pretty much anywhere. So, I can now pump up the Metaphorical Jam and start pumping out troops. Pretty much willy-nilly. And I'm thinking probably Steel Maidens are the ones I want to pump out in this circumstance. Or possibly Shield Maidens. Yeah, probably Shield Maidens, because doing damage isn't really a problem. So we'll do that. We're going to go up Thaumaturgy here. In terms of Earth, Thaumaturgy doesn't really give much except Gnome Lore, which will be kind of cool. For Fire, Thaumaturgy actually does give us Bonds and then Prison of Fire, as well as Augury. Prison of Fire is a fascinating spell. I don't have any Fire 2 mages, unfortunately, so I can't really make use of it. But if you can use Prison of Fire, it locks people in place, and then it burns them if they try to move away. So, can be very useful. Other than that, in terms of nature, it gives me Panic, which could be a pretty good spell. It also gives me Cure Disease, which my higher level nature mages will be able to use with a little bit of boosting. So that would be really, really nice, actually, because I am definitely suffering from diseases. And then eventually it gets Charm. Charm is a great spell, but short range and magic resistance negates. Syllable of Sleep doesn't affect the undead, unfortunately, otherwise I would be trying to get up to that to cast that. And then at the very highest level of Thaumaturgy, I could potentially cast Call the Worm That Walks and get Worm Mages, but since I already have Vampires, don't really need them. Speaking of Vampires, like I said, I haven't really been researching great things for vampires. They can spam Horde of Skeletons, so I can definitely use that. So what I'm going to do, basically, is I'm going to have all three of these guys just set to Horde of Skeletons, like a bunch. Because I don't have Blood Slays right at the moment. And we're going to use them up there in conjunction with Ajavulf and Feaster are going to move up here to block off this army in case it tries to move down and disrupt my blood hunting, which I imagine it'll probably try to do. So we've got these folks up there. We've got the vampires. We've got Ajavulf. We've got Feaster, who nobody cares about. Just move, please move. Okay, fetid. There you go. So we will spam a whole bunch of skeletons. With Death 3 mages, we can cast Horde of Skeletons like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, spellcasting encumbrance is 0, so we should be able to cast it 5 times with each before we even have to rest. And that will enable us to... It's going to be 7 skeletons from each of them, 21 skeletons around, so that'll generate about 100 skeletons, which should overwhelm this force. So that should be just fine. If they hop across the river, then they're going to take the Cursed Land again, and there's not much I can do about it, to be fully honest, which will be a pain in the neck. But, it'll be alright. I should get back to recruiting Garnet Sorceresses, however, so actually, let me cancel out those troops real quick, and get back to pumping out the Garnets. Up here, I'm leaving Pedosian to siege this fort down because Marverni is unharmed. We need more men to breach it, so there's a ton of troops inside Marverni because I have 291 siege strength. Currently, sieging units have 7. Yeah, I was sieging this place with 291 siege strength, didn't make a dent. So, all these troops are going to move down here to Oak Beach instead, which I know has fewer troops in it. And they will siege down Oak Beach, while Pedosian sits on top of the Marverni and dares that army to come out. And if that army comes out, Pedosian will kill it, because they don't have a way to stop him at the moment. He's very, very difficult to kill. And he should be able to basically wipe out whatever they send at him. I'm trying to think of what they could do to take him out. To be honest, the thing that would take him out would be just running out the clock. Which they are going to struggle to do, because he will be killing a square of them, or approximately a square every round, with his magical firebrand. And he has fear, so he's probably going to rout them first, basically, is how this is going to go down. But the rest of this army, with its 200 and some odd, what's his siege strength? 7.3. So yeah, these guys have 280 or so siege strength. So they're going to come down here to this fort. They should crack it pretty quickly, like within a couple of turns. Zaginthu will also bring over his 30 skeletons. So they'll crack Oak Beach and capture it, which will be really, really nice. Unfortunately, it is deep in Therados' dominion, and so losing population rapidly. So I am going to have to try and build temples over here in order to counteract that effect, because these temples are burning us but bad. After that, I'll try to move to take Centania, although I think he has too many ghosts in there to capture effectively. But keep pumping out vampires a little bit, because it's going to be a few turns before we hit Blood Magic level 8. I'm hoping to do it by turn 60, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. Because Thaumaturgy is going to take, I think, let's say 3 turns just to be safe. And then Blood Magic will take another 2 or 3 turns on top of that. So we can probably hit it by 60 if we don't change our research priorities again. These folks. These folks. They can swarm. Basically, if this army pushes in, I'm going to lose provinces. That's just the way it is. I'm going to set my blood hunters to retreat, so that they'll get out safely. Don't really want to lose them. Nordaman, I'm just going to leave unscripted because the patrollers have to be there. Saran Forest, I'll pop a little bit of token province defense in just to prevent it from scout capping it. And I'm going to hope that Therados has bigger fish to fry, because I mean, like, his capital is under siege. This fortress is under siege by a pretty large and scary army. This fortress, he's trying to siege it back. I don't know if he's having any luck with that. These provinces are owned by Atlantis still. I feel like he can't really afford to be throwing huge armies at me at this stage. And to be honest, I would really like his armies to be back underwater when Sea of Ice is cast, because every unit that is underwater is a unit that I will never have to face again. Which would be fine. Which would be very nice from my perspective. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to maintain the siege with Duina here. And Pedosian is going to go over there. Yep. Everything's fine. Everything is going well. And as you may have noticed, my vampires are back. It just took them an extra turn to reform because they were a few provinces away. So they are doing fine as well. So those 3 vampires will drop in here. If this army moves down here, they'll stop them cold with enormous hordes of skeletons. And if they go over here, well, it'll be alright. Gonna set all these ladies to research at the moment, since I don't have enough blood slaves for them to be doing anything just yet. I have more blood slaves coming in. My income is reliably up to, I think, 70 or so every turn. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 64, 71. More than that, actually. This is over 80. So the blood economy is coming along nicely. And for other provinces that I should be hunting, I should be hunting Bycliffe. So I should actually take... Don't have any sanguine dowsing rods available. Well, let's take 3 of these ladies and start moving them down in that direction towards Bycliffe so they can hunt that. So that is going to be turn 54, and I'll see you all in turn 55. Take care.